Shubman Gill remains the talking point after missing out of India's opener against Australia. Hello and welcome to Turning Point. I'm Osama Shab. Shubman is set to miss against Afghanistan. The big question is, will he be back for India versus Pakistan? Will he be match fit? Will India go with a different strategy if he isn't ready? Team India will not be worried much, especially after what we saw from Rahul and Kohli in the match against Australia. India has in fact ticked all the boxes coming into the World Cup, but a slight variation can cause mayhem. And that is what might worry a lot of fans. India will be up against Afghanistan on Wednesday. A good outing from the top three will be a confidence booster going into the India-Pakistan clash. But a failure here will change that narrative and make the billion-plus fans a little nervous. Will Indian top order live up to the challenge? We'll talk about all the possibilities, but before that, some good news for all the cricket fans. Cricket is set to make a return to 2028 Olympics in LA. 128 years after cricket made its only appearance. Now, this development was confirmed by La'28 yesterday via a media release which mentioned that cricket, along with baseball, softball, flag football, lacrosse, and squash, has been recommended for potential inclusion as new sports to the LA Olympics. This statement also confirmed that its recommendation would be reviewed and ratified later this week by the IOC at its executive board meeting. This meeting will take place in Mumbai between October 12th and 14th. The LA Games chairperson has said that all the 5 sports recommended were relevant, innovative and community-based, which could enhance the Olympics movement. We will be talking about this as well as the Shubman Gill situation. We are joined at this point by Sharda Ugra, senior cricket journalist. We'll be joined by Gursharan Singh, former cricketer, and Rishi Chabra, cricket blogger. Welcome everyone to the show. Before we talk about the Shubman Gill situation and India's preparation for the Afghanistan game, I quickly want to get your reaction on cricket being one of the sports that is being considered to be included in Olympics. Sharda Ugra, your thoughts, please.
About time, I think, in a way. No, I mean, this has been inevitable for the last few years since we've been hearing discussions about the fact that there's going to be a big push to take 2020 cricket to Los Angeles. There's a huge Indian community in California on the West Coast. And given the fact that there's also been major league and minor league cricket that has been started in the United States as of this year, there is definitely a push. Grounds are being built. So it was something that was due to come. And I think it's the format that makes it appear attractive, and the fact that the ICC has decided to include all T20 matches as internationals, no matter what countries they're playing in. There's no exclusion that happens normally, like say with Test cricket and so on. That's happened in this. I think that's worked in cricket's favor. It's a big boost for the global game because it means a much wider audience and breaking into the audience in the United States.
Absolutely. Gursharan Singh, I also want to get your thoughts about the same. Cricket being considered as one of the sports to be included in Olympics.
It's a great news because in Olympics, many countries, those who are not participating in the World Cup or other major ICC tournaments, they will get a chance to compete against the best teams of the world. So it is a very good news. Plus, what Sharda said, that in LA there are many Asian community and Indians. So it will be a great, for Olympics. Good viewership will be there. People will come and watch cricket there, and cricket will get more promoted there in USA.
Right, and especially with India being as one of those nations who have the most turnouts when it comes to this particular sport, and we saw that during the Asian Games as well. A lot of eyeballs when India, both men and women's team were playing at the Asian Games. Sharda Ugra, does India, being the Indian cricket being in the Olympics, does it also bring more eyeballs from the subcontinent?
Uh, I think in the subcontinent, it's a massive market as it is. I think I don't want to use the word saturated because there's a great interest around, particularly the IPL and 2020 cricket.
Yeah.
That is most certainly there. I think what it will do is give cricket a little chance to have to redefine, and the ICC a little chance to have to redefine what the boundaries are, because the IOC is pretty strict about how international sport are conducted, their response to it. They want it to be equal men and women participating, and all those rules. And ICC and therefore BCCI will have to follow through on those kind of things. And we'll see the pull and the tug. You'll have to have. I think the cricketers will be ecstatic. They'll be so delighted to be a part of the Olympic movement. They're all fans of Indian sport, and you see them supporting India at the Olympics and so on. And for them, the idea of being part of this massive global movement where they're sharing the dining room and games village and so on, that'll be great. I hope it's a little bit of a sobering experience also for the governing community of the sport as to how international sport needs to be run.
Right. Rishi, Sharda Ugra mentioned about the introduction of cricket in the United States. A lot of these T20 tournaments happening around the world. Do you attribute this growth to the amount of successful T20 tournaments that are being played around the world?
Absolutely, Osama, because T20 as a format is globally accepted, gets over in about 3.5 hours, doesn't take probably like a full day in the 50 over format or 5 days in a test format. So it's easier to watch. It's pure entertainment along with a sport as well. And hats off to the IOC that they've actually considered to include cricket. What I would want to see is from now and between the 2028 Olympic is, if possible, have a bigger pool of countries participating in the T20 World Cup. I think it's high time that the T20 World Cup runs in a format similar to the Football World Cup, where about 48 or 54 countries participate. And it is going to be beneficial for not just ICC, but other nations as well, that a lot of, viewership will grow. A lot of fan following for cricket will grow in countries where it's not actually, followed as compared to what the Asian community follow. And talking about, people following cricket in the Olympics from India, I think wherever we go, wherever we play, in whichever part of the world, we will see a lot of fans, turning out in big numbers, be it on televisions or be it at the ground. So I think it's a win-win situation, not just for the Olympic Association, but for the cricket boards respectively as well.
Gursharan Singh and Sharda Ugra, I want to ask you about, Rishi mentioned about the win-win situation when it comes to this particular format. Does that mean that ODI cricket will ultimately become obsolete, just like Test cricket, which is basically considered as legacy cricket at this point of time?
Your question was, is one day cricket becoming obsolete? And this question comes up every time there's a World Cup. So let's see how this World Cup goes. I think there's going to be certainly a questioning of seeing how bilateral ODI cricket is to be played. Does it need to be reordered? I think that will certainly happen. There'll be a lot of pressure to get rid of 50-50 over 50-50 cricket, and I don't think it comes from the fact that the Olympics are there. I think it comes from the fact that there is a pressure. Boards particularly would want to stage franchise league cricket. That is more profitable, and that is more that's much more conducive to quick, and players want to play that. That's the skill players want to have. So I think the pressure, I completely agree with what Rishi said about the fact that there needs to be a very large pool of teams that are there. You make cricket a little bit more inclusive in that sense. And one thing I think we keep forgetting, everyone says, cricket's not a global sport, in terms of the number of countries that participate. But after the Olympics and the FIFA World Cup, the World Cup media rights are the most valuable media property in nation versus nation team competition. So I think that is also a factor that gives cricket a little bit of a leg up when it comes to getting into the Olympic Games, because the Olympics are also reinventing themselves at the same time.
Yeah, but you very rightly mentioned about how the future of ODI cricket largely depends on how the bilateral series is conducted here in India and elsewhere. Rishi, I also want to get your point on this on what Sharda Ugra mentioned. Do you feel there needs to be a complete overhaul in the way bilateral series are conducted nowadays?
Osama, it's going to be interesting, how ICC copes up with this talk about, scrapping the ODI World Cup and the bilateral series and ODI format altogether. But I think, they've done brilliant with the World Test Championship to come up with a tournament, a plan where, every test match actually matters to the team that is playing. So they'll have to come up with a similar format for the ODIs as well. ODI, we've seen teams bundle out for a very less number of runs. We've seen teams in a situation where there are 3 wickets for 2 runs, and then they go on and win an ODI. So, you will actually see.
What are you talking about?
You will see that ODI.
I don't know what match he's talking about.
Exactly.
I just don't know what match he's talking about.
I will come to that. But, that is the beauty of ODI cricket as well. I know T20 seems to be very entertaining, very interesting for all the younger generation. But ODI format has its own interest, has its own, love all over the world. And I would want ICC to come up with a plan where they can continue, having countries play bilateral series, or probably, introduce a tri-series as well. We used to have so many of them back in early 2000s, and that has actually stopped. So, small tournaments where 3 or 4 countries are playing, that would, I believe, bring up the interest. Also, one way to go about is to introduce an India-Pakistan series. I think it's high time India starts playing Pakistan in bilateral series, be it one day or test match. And I think that is going to be a very big factor in reviving ODI cricket all over the world.
Well, Sharda Ugra, isn't Rishi asking a little too much from ODI cricket, especially including India and Pakistan in the mix together?
Not at all. Not at all. Absolutely not at all. Rishi, well said. I think, for example, that India and Pakistan playing bilateral cricket, even in the World Test Championship, it's an ICC event. Play it in a neutral venue. Just do it. I mean, there has to be a push from Indian cricket to say we want this to happen. You keep saying that, India-Pakistan is the greatest match ever and whatever, and it's the greatest rivalry, and it'll be sold down our throats for the next 4-5 days. But, you're doing that. It's almost like you don't want... India-Pakistan cricket is great as long as no Pakistanis are involved. So reporters are not there, and all kinds of this rubbish is going on. Visa is late, and so you can't. This is not an Olympic thing. This is not an Olympic practice. I think it just should also be pointed out. How much ever you celebrate the fact that the Olympics are there, this kind of thing is not done at the Olympics. They cancelled a shooting event. The shooting event was held, but because Pakistanis didn't get visas, the category of that event it was downgraded. It was actually I think an Olympic quota event, and then they removed. They removed. So. When you're going to play in the Olympics, those are the rules. They're not your rules. So I think Rishi is absolutely right when he says it is. Why should we not ask for it? We are fans.
Yeah. You see, another argument that has been ongoing in favor of the T20 cricket is that if you want to grow cricket globally, T20 is the way to go. Is that what you guys also feel?
Sam, I'm not really a big fan of T20 leagues because, at the end of the day, what I feel IPL has done as well is divide fans even in India. You see the moment the IPL ho-halla starts in this country, you have fans from all over the country divided into separate teams, and that has actually happened. But, I believe it is up to the players as well, whether they want to represent the country, whether they want to don that Indian jersey or whichever country they're playing for, or whether they want to run after money. I think it's their personal choice. But I feel, ICC should come up with a structure where probably 2 or 3 months are just designated for franchisee cricket. And in those 2-3 months, all countries should finish up their quota of franchisee cricket. And then we can focus on ICC tournaments or even for, say, bilateral. Because, at the end of the day, cricket, any sport, when it comes to playing for your country, is what brings fans from every country together, and that is what is going to keep a sport like cricket alive.
Right. We'll be talking about this in detail further as well. But for now, let's also talk about Shubman Gill. Gursharan Singh, Shubman Gill has been hospitalized. He's out of the Afghanistan game. Do you believe he will be match fit for the Pakistan game?
I think today's 10th, another 3-4 days to go. Yeah, he can recover, but it seems very unlikely Plus, like in the last match, we will get for 2 runs, and we recovered. And I don't think this will again happen, that someone will again take us out of trouble. So that opening partnership is very, very important. I think Shubman Gill, the way he is playing, he has been scoring runs. So to get Gill fit is very, very important.
I like how
And
everyone's going back
plus
to
Ishan
yeah.
Ishan Kishan, he should restrict his shots initially, because it's a new ball from both ends. He should play. He should try to settle down. And these are good wickets. Good wickets. Only the last wicket was a bit bowler friendly. Otherwise, everywhere you will see in all the venues, it will be good batting wickets. Like today's match also, Bangladesh, England. I think
Yeah.
they are around 300 for 1 or 2. So that opening partnership is a must, and Shubman Gill getting fit, it seems very unlikely.
Right. Shardaugra, considering that this is a long tournament, should India rest Shubman for the Pakistan game, irrespective of whether he has fully recovered or not?
I would think his recovery is important because the thing they tell you about dengue, certainly, I know that I agree with what Gurshan Singh ji is saying, that it's a very important match, but there are more important matches to go. And
Correct.
one of the things about dengue, they say if you try and rush yourself back into normalcy, and here we are talking about him going from hospitalization onto
Correct.
the pitch. It will just come back and bite you very badly. So I think Shubman Gill needs to recover fully before he can be led back into the team. I'm sure he wants to play. I'm sure the team wants him to play. We all want to see him play again.
Yeah.
But if he's in the hospital and he has dengue, I would think it has to be handled very, very carefully.
Right. Rishi, India will be up against a decent bowling side tomorrow. How important is it for then the likes of Ishan Kishan and Rohit to come good in this match?
I think, Osama, what happened against Australia, 3 wickets for 2 runs, is going to be a one-off game, and we won't see that happen very often in this tournament again. I hope it doesn't happen. But, someone from the team management will have to sit down with Ishan Kishan and tell him that the kind of talent that he has, he's not doing justice to it. He's been getting opportunities thanks to Rishabh Pant and Shubman Gill, but he's not making them count. And it is time that he needs to spend more time in the middle. We saw how Virat Kohli and KL Rahul, paced their innings, and towards the end, they finish off the game. And that is what we expect from someone like Ishan Kishan and Shreyas Iyer. And the moment they start doing that, I'm okay, if Team India scores about 30, 40 runs in the first 10 overs. It is the more time that you spend on the field, the better it will be towards the end of the innings for you. And that is what I expected, out of Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan both. And like I said, about Shubman Gill, I think it should be that, he should be pushed too quickly to make a comeback. We have Pakistan on Saturday, and then we're playing Bangladesh. So I believe New Zealand match is probably the best that he can make a comeback. And Ishan Kishan needs to be told that, okay, this is the number of games that you're going to play for us. Shubman Gill is not available, so he needs to be mentally prepared that, okay, I will be playing the Pakistan match. And, hopefully we will see better performance from Shubman, from Ishan Kishan and Shreyas Iyer.
Right. One final word from Shardaugra. Do you think Indian top order will they be able to live up to the challenge tomorrow? Because why I'm asking this is because India will be playing at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. South Africa scored 428. Sri Lanka in their chase reached 326. Do you feel India needs to approach that match in the similar manner that South Africa did?
They couldn't have come to a better venue, for this game after the shock of 3 for 2, or 2 for 3, or whichever way makes you feel better. So I think that is the way that they will kind of snap into it. This is the best place. It's better here than any ground where runs are not easy to score, like they faced in Chennai a little bit. You will get that I think approach from the Indians. It'll be interesting to see how they handle the spin that is available to Afghanistan, which is a much much wider range than what the Australians had to offer them that day. It'll be interesting to see how the middle overs play out against the India, and hopefully we'll still be seeing the top order somewhere in operation while the middle overs are on.
Right. This 2 for 3 has instilled so much fear in the hearts of every Indian fan, and I hope that doesn't happen again during the course of the World Cup. Fingers crossed, like Rishi. Well, we'll slip
Osama,
it.
so we were 3 wickets for 2 runs in the 2019 semi-final, and we started a 50-over campaign in 23 with 3 wickets down for 2 runs. So I'm
Right.
really hoping we don't see that scorecard ever again.
Well, we hope it's a different result this time around. Thank you everyone for joining Turning Point. We'll slip into a short break. More sports news on the other side.